Hello there, everyone. This is the Honeywell TC89B Smoke Detector. It's a very rare smoke detector. And at first glance, looks kind of like the TC49A. However, this one is battery powered. That's right. It's the battery powered version of the TC49A, which is right here. And you can see they do look similar. Of course, there are some differences, and I'll get into that. But let's focus on this one here. So here it is. You can see it has the basic Honeywell design of this era, the 4 side vents with the 3 rows of round holes at the top, and the centerpiece that says Honeywell. However, on the TC49A, you can see right here it says Honeywell. And that part is just, it's just a little circle with Honeywell logo on it, or writing. But this part is actually the test button. Yep, they added a test button on the TC89B. It's a great upgrade to the TC49A here. So anyway, here's the back. Another thing they added were mounting tabs on it. So you don't need to use the mounting bracket like you did on the TC49A. However, you could if you wanted to. You can see it's still adaptable. You can still mount it with the mounting bracket. You just do that, and you take the captive screw from the 49A and I guess put it in this one, screw it on there, and then you can actually mount it with the bracket. So it's pretty cool. This one doesn't have an LED right there. However, it does look a lot like it should. And then it says, pull here to remove cover, just like on the TC49A. Good focus. The lighting, not enough light. Hang on. I'm not quite sure, but this phone just doesn't like to focus. There, okay, you can kind of see it right there. Anyway, trust me, it says pull here to remove cover. And on the center, turn it around. On the center of the 49A, it says Honeywell, of course, but then it also says around the edges here, it says to silence remove cover. And this thing will not focus. So there you go. Okay, that's a good view right there. But on this one, it says to test depressed center disc. That's because this one does not have that interlock like this one does. Anyway, let's open it up. This one also has a tab right there. And this particular TC49A model does not, but there were some TC49As that did have that tab. So open it up. And on the inside, you can see, of course, there's the sensor right there. It's got a little plate on top of it, I guess, to control the radiation. And underneath there is, of course, the sensor. Here's the horn, your normal Kobishi CLB-27 brass squealer horn. There's where the LED would go. Now, I think there was a model TC89A, and I think that one actually did have an LED there. There's, of course, the battery right here. And then there's more circuitry there. And then right here, of course, is the sensitivity adjustment switch. You can change the sensitivity from 0.7% to 2.8%. And, of course, the 7%, 0.7% is the maximum. 2.8% is the minimum, and you can just sort of vary it, I guess. Of course, it says, warning, use only 9-volt Mallory alkaline battery. Of course, that was from when Duracell. That's, of course, Duracell now, because Duracell used to be part of Mallory Chemical Corporation or whatever. Do not use carbon, zinc, or other battery. If different battery is used, unit will not operate for alarm and trouble signal. Now, I think this is an alkaline battery. At least I hope it is this Smart Living battery I used. I'm not sure. I don't feel like taking it out because it's a pain to get back in. But there's where the captive screw would go to hold the mounting bracket on if it had one. And of course, there's the mounting screw holes right there. Of course, right here's the test button. or the test thing. It's actually on the sensor, kind of like on a GE or an older decon or something like that. But like the test button, actually, when you push it, it actually pushes a whole metal disc down onto the radioactive material. Actually, just like the GEs, because on the GEs, with the metal sensor and the red test button on top, you push it down and it literally pushes a metal disc down onto the radioactive material to test it. It's kind of exactly what this one's doing. Now, I think I already showed you the back. Here's the inside of the cover here, and here's the test button, of course, that I was telling you about. Of course, they call it the test disc. You can see it right there. And that's where it's like molded on or hooked on to the cover. There's that tab I was telling you about. And then here's the label right in here. Right there you can see TC89B maintenance. Replace battery when detector emits a short chirping sound approximately once a minute, at approximately 1 minute intervals. After replacing battery, test the detector by pressing test button. Well, they called it the test button there. They didn't call it the test disc. Whatever. To avoid false alarms, vacuum dust from sensing chamber. I guess that's supposed to say once a year, but like paint's covering it. For additional information, see Homeowner's Manual number 60-0588 and NFPA. I can't read it. There's paint on a little bit of paint on the label. Plus my phone isn't focusing. Get more light in here. That might help. Okay, there. Okay, let's turn it a little bit. Get more light in there. Okay. Anyway, it says an NFPA something, can't really read it, it has paint on it. Atlantic Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts 02270. Caution. This device contains radioactive material, americium-241, 4.4 microcuries maximum. For repair or disposal, return of detector, return to Honeywell, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55422. Underwriters Laboratories. When replacing cover, align notch with protrusion on base. Once again, if my phone will focus, I could show you. There you go. There kind of go. Now I think there might have used to be another label on this side, because YouTube user nlind also has one of these smoke detectors, or actually has 3 of them, I think, and his had another label right there next to it, and it looks as though you can sort of see the outline, so maybe that label fell off, or maybe it was taken off, I don't know. You can kind of see the outline of where a label might go. Square outline. But okay, here's the front of the cover once again. As I mentioned, the 3 rows of round holes, which is a characteristic of these detectors. The TC89A has that. So now let's replace the cover here, and it's time to test it. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, actually yes, I did forget to mention. Now, if you take a look at the horns that they use, this one, of course, uses the brass squealer. This one here uses the Edwards horn. Now, there are some very rare versions of this one that actually use the Edwards horn, like this one. nlind actually has one of those, so you can see his video for that. But this one uses the Edwards horn, except that I noticed that the tone, since this one's running off of AC power, the pulse is more modulated, or it's not pulse, it's the tone of this one is more modulated. This one has that classic DC whining, wailing sound. So let's test it now, of course. So push the test button in 3, 2, 1, test. Of course, it's pretty high pitched. It's actually, I think that might even be more high pitched than my First Alerts and Sears that I have. but let's test it again. Kind of struggled there. Kind of went like a little bit, but whatever. Now let's take the cover off, and actually we can test it without the cover. If I just push the little test switch right here. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty high pitched. Alright, and there's the back of it once again. Now, let's take a look at the differences. Now, obviously you can see, as I said, the TC89B is battery powered and the TC49A is hardwired. But on the 49A, of course, there's no test button, like I said. The horns, of course, are different. The label for radioactive material is on the horn on this one, and on this one, it's actually in the cover on the label there. There's no LED on the 89B. Of course, this one has that interlock switch in there. This one, of course, doesn't. Obviously, it's battery powered. The transformer is right here on this one, but on this one, of course, it's the battery clip and the battery connector and everything. As for the sensor is actually slightly, I don't know if it's bigger or not. It might be a little bit bigger. Actually, yeah, it is a bit bigger, because you can see there it doesn't go really quite to there, and there it goes all the way out to the edge. So the sensor in the 49A is slightly bigger, and that's because this one has more radioactive material. It contains 13.4 microcuries. This one only contains 4.4 microcuries, as you saw on the label and the cover. The sensitivity adjustment is also quite different. This one here has that switch that's really easy to switch. Easy to move back and forth. You can switch it between the two sensitivities. This one has a knob, which is kind of hard to turn. And it's called the sensitivity calibrator on here, and this one's just called sensitivity adjustment. But they're both technically sensitivity adjustments. The base color is also different. This one is black, and this one here is I'm guessing it used to be white, now it's faded to a yellow or beige color. And also, there's no plate like this on top of this sensor, because that plate, at least the equivalent of that plate, is actually mounted in the cover right there. But of course, they couldn't do that on the 89B because it would interfere with the test button. But I guess since the 49A doesn't have a test button, they figured save some space and just put it right on the cover. Plus, it's connected to the interlock switch as well. So, of course, I already told you about the tab on the cover here. Some TC49As do have that tab. Of course, the mounting tabs, the mounting screw holes. This one, you use a bracket to mount, where this one you mount the base directly to the wall or ceiling. Yeah. And actually, I think you can actually like mix and match the covers. If the TC49A's cover can go on, yeah, the TC89B's cover goes right on the 49A. And the 49A's cover, I think, if I can get this interlock switch properly put on. But the interlock switch might be interfering with it a bit. But maybe if I took the battery out. I don't feel like taking the battery out right now, though. But, it should. Well, let's take the battery out. Oop, just accidentally hit the test button. Well, you got another test for you there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, got the battery out. Let's discharge it. And cover for the 49A goes right on, just as I suspected. So now you can't really tell which one is which, so I'll take the cover for that one off. And take the cover, the 89B's cover off of the 49A base. And let's, ooh, that was battery clip. This battery clip really does scratch the batteries. Enland was right about that. So I'm actually going to put the camera down while I put the battery back in. I can't get it in. Hang on. Okay, there. Now I'll put the reconnect the battery. It didn't chirp. That's a good sign. But anyway, also the model number, the full model number at least for the 89B is TC89B1000. You can sort of see it there. Yeah, there you can see it. TC89B1000. And it's from 1977. That is the date code right there. 77 for 1977. Not sure what the 49 is. And then there's a 267. Not sure what that is. Yeah. So, now of course, there was a TC. Anyway, as I was saying, there was a another series, the sort of TC49D series, and they were a little bit different. They actually had, the battery version was the CD200A, and the hardwired version was the TC49D. They were a little bit different because they had a much different sensor. Enland on YouTube once again has both the TC49D and the CD200A. Federal 3T22 I think has the line cord version of the TC49D, and that one's the CD100A. But of course the CD200A would be the battery powered version. But this is for the TC49A series or TC89 series. These two are the counterparts, or at least the hardwired battery backup, or hardwired and battery powered counterparts. So, put the cover back on, and let me just quickly adjust this. And so, I think that's about it. So, that is my Honeywell TC89B. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention. The TC89B, this particular model, was actually recalled back in the 80s, I think the early 80s, because of a circuit board mounting problem with the way the sensor was mounted on the board. It actually, in some cases, the detector will sound when the test button is pushed, but not when there's actual smoke. So they recalled about, I think, what was it, 2,000 units or something like that. And some of them did not have this defect. I have to test this one with a match to see if this one has a defect. But yeah. So, and it was model TC89B and TC89C. TC89A was not affected. Neither was TC89D. I think TC89D was actually just the CD200A. There was a TC89D though, because I saw it in an advertisement, and it looked just like the CD200A. So. Probably the same thing. So that is the Honeywell. That's the Honeywell TC89B smoke detector. Thanks for watching.